Psalm 42. For the music director, a well-written song of the Korahites. As a deer longs for the streams of water, so I long for you, O God. I thirst for God, for the living God. I say, when will I be able to go and appear in God's presence? I cannot eat. I weep day and night. All day long they say to me, where is your God? I will remember and weep. For I was once walking along with the great throng to the temple of God, shouting and giving thanks, along with the crowd as we celebrated the holy festival. Why are you depressed, O my soul? Why are you upset? Wait for God, for I will again give thanks to my God for his saving intervention. I am depressed, so I will pray to you while in the region of the upper Jordan, from Mount Hermon, from Mount Mizar. One deep stream calls out to another. At the sound of your waterfalls, all your billows and waves overwhelm me. By day the Lord decrees his loyal love, and by night he gives me a psalm, a prayer to the God of my life. I will pray to God, my high ridge. Why do you ignore me? Why must I walk around mourning because my enemies oppress me? My enemies taunt, cut to my bone, as they say to me all day long, where is your God? Why are you depressed, O my soul? Why are you upset? Wait for God, for I will again give thanks to my God for his saving intervention. So I don't know if you're noticing a theme here as we go through this section of Psalms here of being in some ways a horrible situation, having enemies about, whether there is sin involved or not sin involved, it doesn't matter, but being in a horrible situation, praising God, crying out to God, waiting for God, waiting for deliverance. Like we have this section that we're in. Now we have by the Korahites. If you don't remember Korah, Korah rebelled against Moses and Aaron, and he and his followers were swallowed up alive by the ground. And so there were still some descendants of his. The descendants of his become prominent in the worship of the temple later on. And so the realization of them praising God in the midst of what their ancestors did is a pretty cool thing. Hey, Zekatak, tip of the cap, friend. Tip of the cap. Good morning. Good morning. All right. So the Korahites, just want to make sure you knew who was the ones who were going to be doing the song here. As a deer longs for the streams of water, so I long for you, my God. Yeah, animals are going to long for water. That's for sure. So the fact that they are is a good thing. Well, deer long for water. Everyone knows it. No, nothing to see here. You know, it'd be kind of like, as the bee wants to have the flower. Oh, yeah, I get you. Okay, yeah, it's natural. They go together, longing for that, wanting that. That's how I long for God, wanting to have it. I thirst for God, for the living God. This is such a fascinating thought to me because, like, in any of relationship I have, like, people will go on trips and they'll be away from their loved ones. It doesn't matter if it's kids going to camp, if it's a spouse leaving others, if it's just friends leaving others, and you talk to them, you see them every day. Summer vacation, out of sight, out of mind. That's what it was for most friends. Yep, when school came back around and I'd see you and we'd hang out at lunch and we'd hang out in sports and we'd hang out whatever. Great. Summer comes around, I don't see you, I don't see you. You know, there wasn't like, or other people will, kid go off to summer camp and have to write a letter every day home. I don't understand that. I'm at summer camp. My parents aren't here. Great, they're not here. So I'm not thinking about my parents. They're not here. I go away to a conference. I can go through days without thinking about my wife while I'm at a conference, like, because I'm thinking about the people that are there. I don't call to mind other people not there. It's not how I think. The longing for God just escapes me on some level. The depth that the psalmist, I mean, I get the analogy of the deer for water and all of that. But to have, say, I have that experience with anyone, sure, at some point when I'm laying in bed at night, I might, but not all day long. Okay. Not all day long am I thinking about other people that are not present and not there. Anyway, I say, when will I be able to go and appear in God's presence? Like, I'm longing for God. It's like, I can't wait for the festival. When is the festival? When do I get to go up to Jerusalem? When do I get to go up? And this would be how he would appear before God's presence. I don't know that he has in mind eternity of actually seeing God, but simply the going and appearing in the temple. Hey, Uncle Teddy, I cannot eat. I weep day and night. All day long, they say to me, "Where is your God?" So the enemy is taunting him. We don't see your God acting. We don't see your God around. We don't see the power of your God. We see you with nothing, nothing, nothing. I will remember and weep. So I remember what they are saying. I weep because of what they say. For of God. See, this is where he was talking about. When can I go up here before God? Shouting and giving thanks along with the crowd as we celebrated the holy festival. So I'm remembering all these things. So why are you depressed, oh my soul? Why are you upset? Wait for God. For they're telling me and crying out to me, where is your God? Where is your God? And it's like, well, I can remember when I got to participate in the celebration and going up to the festival and praising God. So where is he today? Well, I will again one day be able to do that. Okay. For I will again, because God has intervened. I am depressed, so I will pray to you while in the region of the upper Jordan from Hermon, from Mount Mizar, sorry. Therefore, I will remember you in the land of, I will pray when I'm in the upper. The term Zarqa most frequently means to remember, but can also mean to mention. So if you're mentioning he's praying, I think I still would have went with remember you. Hermons, the plural form, occurs only here in the Old Testament. Some suggest the plural refers to the multiple peaks or simply retains the plural in the translation, but the final mem is probably didograph. Note that the next form in the text begins the letter mem or enclectic. At a later time, it was misinterpreted as a plural marker and vocalized accordingly. Wherever I am, as I'm wandering about, I am depressed, I will pray. I am depressed. Why is he depressed? He is downcast. He bows low. So even though he is longing for the praise, he's not in the situation of praise. So he's thinking about it, but he's still depressed. One deep stream cries to another at the sounds of the waterfall. All your billows and waves overwhelm me. Deep calls to deep. The Hebrew noun te'am often refers to the deep sea, but here, where it is associated with Hermon, it probably refers to the mountain streams. The words can be used of streams and rivers. Okay, interesting. As your billows and waves overwhelm me. Calls out to another at the sound of your waterfall. Waterfall occurs only here and in 2 Samuel 5:8, where it apparently refers to a water shaft. The psalmist alludes to the loud sound of the mountain streams. Okay, interesting. I did not realize that's what it was. Cool. Your billows and waves overwhelm me, pass over me. As the hear of the sound of the rushing water, the psalmist imagines himself engulfed in the current. By implication, he likens his emotional distress to such an experience. So, mountain cries to another through the waterfall, the billowing, the crashing, the waves, they overwhelm me. By day, the Lord decrees his loyal love. So we've got here's his emotional state of depression in the circumstance that he is in. By day, the Lord decrees his loyal love. By night, he gives me a song, a prayer to the God of my life. I will pray to God, my high ridge. So in the night, he has reason to sing. Why do you ignore me? Why must I walk around mourning because my enemies oppress me? But in life, in reality, as he thinks about it, my enemies taunt me. They cut me to the bone. Their taunts do that. As they say to me all day long, where is your God? Again, recalling the phrase, back again, taunting, I don't see your God at action. Why isn't he protecting you? These horrible things are happening to you. Why isn't God there? Why are you depressed, O my soul? Why are you upset? Wait for God, for I will again give thanks to my God for his saving intervention. So why are you downcast, O my soul? Why are you depressed? My inner being is this way, looking at the circumstance of it, but realizing you don't need to be upset. Just wait for God. The circumstances are not out of his control. The circumstances aren't beyond his control. You just need to wait, and God will indeed deliver you. So it's this inner dialogue, inner turmoil. You look at the situation around, it's overwhelming. You look at what God has done, and it's evidence of love, deliverance, all of those things. So just keep focusing on that, if you will. Okay, we're